Well, this coronavirus epidemic has turned our lives upside down. We hear so much going on every day, news that are not comfortable, they're not pleasant. We keep hearing them through media and suggestions and recommendations to continue experiencing many changes in every aspect of our lives. Hello, this is Coffee Break with Ninita, a time when we all meet and we share thoughts and feelings, and we try to create some kind of order in our thoughts and in our feelings that we gather daily from the news that bombard us, so that we can try to find some light in the darkness that this epidemic has spread throughout the world. The topic of today's talk is change. And seriously, this is what, from almost January, this is what we experience every day. Change that comes from the news as they are discovering more information that are not that pleasant with regard to the disease, with regard to the virus, and changes in the numbers of people infected, of people actually losing their lives, changes with regard to the work routines that the whole world has experienced changes in their profession, occupation, whether they're employed or they're not employed. People are no longer going to work, they're staying home and trying to work from home. Students are no longer going to school in many areas, instead they're continuing their education online. Well, the reason why I feel I want us to talk about change is because change brings reaction, because change creates chaos. When we are living our lives daily for a period of time, pretty much doing the same thing, we sort of get an autopilot. We are thinking less about what we are going to do next, because it is pretty much habitual to do, whether it is going to school, whether it is working, whether it is going to the gym, whether it is other activities. It sort of becomes routine. And when we at some point decide how our lives are going to look like and fill it with the activities that we feel are important for our emotional, mental, and physical survival, and spiritual, I should add, then a situation such the one that has affected us creates chaos, because routine and patterns, no matter how filled our schedule is, starts bringing order into our lives. So these reactions are reactions to the chaos. It is an indication that we have lost order in our daily routine, in our daily way of living our lives. And these reactions often adds more into the picture by creating emotions or intensifying emotions such as worrying, frustration, anxiety, depression, sadness. And what I have previously mentioned is, in other discussions, is that I use the acronym HAVE to indicate such emotional state. H stands for hurt, A stands for anger, L stands for loneliness, and F stands for frustration and fears. It is like a smoke alarm. It is an indication that order is impacted and chaos is presenting itself and increasing. Some changes are good because it helps us sort of reevaluate the situation we are in. It is good because it helps us move out of autopilot and find the need for problem solving, and it is good. It helps us apply coping skills or discover coping skills, and this is how we grow. Through the application and the discovery of coping skills, our lives evolve. Now, this is true for some change, but when the change is as intense as it has been through the virus, that can really push us seriously in survival mode. And this is where I really want us to stay and focus. Indeed, all that is going on in the whole world is pushing us into a state of panic. We sort of freeze and we don't know which way to go. And we have free-floating anxiety, depression, and because we are on survival mode, our minds are not clear. And instead of walking through this darkness and trying to reach the light as carefully as we can, we start running. And you know what happens when we run in a dark place? We fall and hurt ourselves. And this is one of the things that unfortunately is happening now. We fall and hurt ourselves because we are doing things sometimes opposite to what we need to do. We're scared. We worry. In other words, we're feeling half. And therefore, we tend to fall into two types of behaviors. Avoidance, where we deny the seriousness of what is going on. Attack, when we become angry, and since we cannot get angry at the disease alone, we start getting angry at each other. And this is unnecessary and not beneficial. This is why people have a need to reach out to faith. It is a need. Some deny this need and stay trapped in the survival mode. But those that choose the path of faith, it is pretty much like whether or not I'm going to use a flashlight to walk through a very dark road. Well, no matter how much I feel that I don't want to go out and look for a flashlight, I just want to go through that dark street and get it over as fast as I can. However, if we can think clearly, we will understand we must take the time and find that flashlight. Turn it on before we start walking again. This is what I wanted to discuss with you today. The importance of using a flashlight to walk through this period that it is very dark, very overwhelming, very stressful, to encourage you to seek in the faith the comfort, the energy, and the enlightenment that we need in order to go through the darkness of today's epidemic. Until we talk again, have a blessed day. See you tomorrow.